Hey, what's going on YouTube? I'm Clarence, and today I want to talk about my music wall, the wall that's right behind me. So I'm in my basement, and we've kind of set up our area for entertaining. And behind me, this wall used to be it was blank. It was nothing behind it, maybe a couch. Got our big screen TV over here. We got a couch over here, but behind me, this is the shrine, and this is a shrine to my dad. So if you saw my last video, I talked about my dad's love for music, and when he passed in 2020, I brought over his music, brought over his turntable. But today I want to go a little bit more into depth about how I got everything set up, and it was a process, and it started off with something as simple as just the inspiration of bringing the albums here, cleaning those records up, airing them out, and from there grabbing some bookcases so I could store the music upright. So if you're a music collector, you know you never lay your albums down flat. You gotta put them upright. So I had to start off with some cases. So I got these Calic, I believe they're Calic bookcases from IKEA. From there, the journey began. I'm gonna show you step by step how I kind of took it from point A to where it is right now. So I've told you guys in the past that my dad was a huge music lover, and growing up he played his vinyl all the time, and he played it loud. He turned that bad boy up. So everything was set up in the basement, and he would blast his music, whether it was the Crusaders, the Beatles, Jimi Hendrix, Marvin Gaye, Parliament Funkadelic, he blasting Aqua Boogie, you name it. He's playing this music, driving my mom crazy. Clarence, will you please turn that music down? But we just got used to it. So my love of music definitely came from him. He played it all the time. If we were in the car, he'd have something in the 8-track, playing some Donald Byrd, Places and Spaces, just everything. We were always listening to some music. So, as you guys know, music started to change over the years. You know, we went from vinyl to cassettes. So everybody had a Walkman. Dad had the Walkman behind me. Matter of fact, I gotta get it. Let me show you this Walkman. All right, check this out. You guys remember this? The Sony Walkman? This is Dad's Walkman, all right? I don't know if it still plays or not, but you know, he paid a little money for this. You know, I think I had like, in college, I had the cheesy one. It might have been like 20 bucks. He paid some money for the Sony one. It was waterproof, had the music and everything on it. So, you know, from there, everyone stopped playing the vinyl and started playing cassettes. So everybody had cassettes. And, you know, after cassettes kind of, you know, died off, well, not really died off, then they moved to CDs, and, you know, the clarity, the ease of use, you know, it just took music to another level. You know, right now everyone is streaming, but music has just always been instilled in my life. I can remember years ago, Dad gifted me a turntable. It wasn't even a turntable. It was like a 3-in-1 record player. So I have it right here. Gotta show it to you. So check this out. I don't know if you guys remember these. Okay, so we got the record player, we got the cassette tape that you could slide in on the side, and then you had the CD player. You might have a little glare from the lights, but you got your CD player and you got your radio. Okay, so it's kind of like a 4-in-1. So he gifted me that, and I had a few albums that I had left, you know, at the house. You know, graduated from college, you know, you don't take everything with you. So when I moved and I'm all grown, just stuff just sat there, forgot all about it because nobody's playing vinyl anymore. So he brought back my albums. I only had like maybe 10 or 12, but he gave me the record player so I could still go back and play the music. So it was very nostalgic. Okay, so let's fast forward to when Dad passed. So the one thing I wanted to do was to preserve his music, and in actuality, the record player that he gifted me allowed me to do that. Had he not gifted that to me, I probably wouldn't even thought nothing of it. But because I had it, I had a record player, I wanted to bring the music here. So let's talk about the setup. So I get all the music here, and I'm gonna, as I'm talking through this, I'm gonna throw up some clips, some pictures of, you know, the progression of the music. So I brought the vinyl over to the house. I threw things in milk crates and just kind of had to sort through it. And like I said before, I had to clean things up, air things out. And then I went to IKEA to grab a couple of bookcases to store my music, to store the albums. Started off with just one in which it held, I think it had 6 different compartments. And from there, I wanted to just stretch it out. So I ended up buying a second, well, actually 2 more cases, and they were the cases that had 4 openings. So now I got this big wide space, which takes up the majority of the wall. So I got everything cleaned up, got things organized, put inside the cases, and then I put the record player that Dad gifted me on top, and kind of decorated it, put the music on, and oh man, it was not what I expected. Now, I've had this record player for a while, and it was nostalgic, but I needed to bring this back to my dad's. I wanted it to feel like it was, his music was here, okay? The sound, I needed the sound. When I put that record on, I think I put a Jimi Hendrix on, you hear the crackling of the music on the record, and I'm like, this is not gonna do. I can't do this. So from there, I ended up going back over to his house, and I got his turntable. He hadn't used that turntable in years, so I didn't know if it worked or not, but I brought it over. He had a receiver as well. And I hooked that up. Nothing. Dead. It wouldn't do anything. So I had to take that to the repair shop, and they refurbished it, and they got it back to where it used to be. But in actuality, the receiver just wasn't up to par, had a lot of crackling going on. So I actually had a old Sony receiver from my home theater days back in the 90s, where I had these little cube speakers, but it was a nice size turntable, so I connected that up. So we went with that for the time being. But then I had these little cube speakers. It just didn't sound right. It just did not sound right. So I'm like, all right, I gotta get some speakers. I had a subwoofer from my home theater from the 90s, so I had a sub. But I went and purchased some bookcase, I think it's bookshelf speakers. And I got a couple clips. So I did my homework to find out, you know, more about speakers. And Klipsch was a pretty reputable speaker, and a lot of people spoke really highly of it. So I got those, connected it, had a good sound. I was satisfied for a while, but eventually I'm like, I got to get this back to the way it sounded and the way it looked in the basement at my family, at my mom and dad's house. So I went and got some big speakers, got the big boys, tall boys, and those were clips as well. So I gradually got everything kind of going, and then from there I just started kind of just decorating. So you guys see behind me, I have a picture on the wall, which, you know, took up a little wall space. And I got the idea of putting records on the wall. So I got some double-sided tape. I got some old records from the record store. You can buy like some old records for like $1. So I bought a bunch of those records. I got you know, albums along with some 45s, and just started putting those on the wall. And from there, I started working on lighting. I ended up getting another receiver. So I got another Sony receiver, and from there I needed a good amp. So I got a preamp, and I was in business. We were sounding really good. So a little bit after that, I decided, I'm like, all right, so I got Dad's turntable. I want to now invest in a newer turntable to see if it can even boost the sound quality of my music. So I ended up getting a Fluence turntable, which is quality. It's a really nice turntable. I'll show you my Fluence as well. But so I got 2 turntables. I have my receiver, I got my preamp, and because I got these clip speakers, the towers, I don't need the sub, so I took the sub off because it, excuse me, the quality is just superb. And we got a really good sounding system down here. It's very pleasing visually. It reminds me of what was, and I've kind of brought it back up to like the quality that it was back in the day. So this is my shrine to Dad. So give me some feedback. Let me know what you think. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Y'all take care, and make sure you like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.